It's time to talk about the harassment of women in video games. Yes, I know, no one's ever covered this topic before. What, Gamergate? What's that? Never heard of it. You're just telling me this now for the first time. Okay, this video is getting totally demonetized because I'm about to show you what the progressives over at YouTube consider to be the spiciest video ever crafted by human hands. So please consider supporting the channel if you're capable of doing so. Don't break the bank though. I don't want you to be some simp who goes into debt to send me money. You all know I'm just gonna get fatter with it anyway. About a week ago, on May 13th, this clip went viral of a female Valorant streamer, Taylor Morgan, getting harassed in-game. Let's check it out.
Oh, be honest with me.
One down. My ult's ready.
Do you know what rape feels like?
No, I don't actually.
Well, do you want to know?
Are you saying you're gonna rape me?
Because you're heading on the right path right now.
Are you saying you're gonna rape me?
You're going on the right path for it.
Is that what you're saying?
Toxins going up.
It's not rape if I like it. Is it now?
No one walks away.
Hectic goal.
Jesus Christ, total bogan domination. This is the same type of shit that you'd hear in Xbox Live lobbies back in the day. And frankly, now that it's rarer than it's ever been, it's actually kind of surprising to hear it in the wild again. It's almost like nature is healing. Okay, jokes aside, real talk. This guy's obviously an asshole. I don't think anyone's disputing that. The streamer in question posted the clip to Twitter and tagged Riot Games, the developer of Valorant. In her tweet, she wrote, "I need you guys to fucking do something. I am an incredibly strong person, and I've been streaming for a very long time. But absolutely nothing prepares you for someone saying this to you. Suspensions are not enough. Nothing will ever stop these men from acting this way until hardware bans go into play. They should never be able to play the game again. I know you hear us. I know you see us. If this goes unpunished, I am taking this as an active act from you that you do not give a single fuck about any of the women and minorities who play your game, and I will rally to boycott." The free speech reply to this is, as always, use the block button, report them, and move on. I get equivalent shit to this in my comments and DMs on a semi-regular basis. People saying they're gonna show up at my house and kick the shit out of me or fuck around with my girlfriend or something. I block them, I report them, and I move on. Because I know that deep down they're impotent fucking losers who will never actually do the things they're claiming. They want me to be scared. They want me to react like Taylor did in that clip. And when I don't, they lose. When you rage quit out, lady, you give them what they wanted. This is why I don't buy her claim that she's an incredibly strong person. No, you're not. You're not at fault for the harassment other people send your way. That's entirely on them. But the moment you chose to tab out and close the game, that was you. You are responsible for that. You made that choice. If you actually were an incredibly strong person, you wouldn't have done that. But you're not. You're a weak person. In any case, Taylor goes on to post their in-game names. She says it's a crime to do what they did where they live, and she intends to go to the cops about it. Of course, a ton of progressives, as well as a bunch of larger streamers, came out of the woodwork to fawn over her about how traumatizing it must have been, and how evil male gamers are. But most normal people simply said what I said. Yeah, he's a dick, sure, but why not just block him? Or hell, you know what? I've known actually strong female gamers over the years. Do you know what they all say when they get rape threats? They'll reply with, "Of course you want to rape me. No one's gonna fuck you willingly." Or they'll say like, "Your dick's too small to do the job anyway." Probably the dumbest take I've seen so far was this one from some other e-girl. "It's just shit talk, yeah? Well, I've yet to hear men threaten rape to other men in the same circumstances. Until that happens, it's just plain old misogyny. Grow the fuck up." Bitch, I've told Dave I'm gonna rape his ass in Smash Bros so many times over the years, you don't even fucking know. Men say this shit to each other all the time. The point here is that you entered into an environment that has a specific character, one that you are personally unsuited for. That's fine, by the way. We've all got different temperaments, but not every environment should be tailored to match your sensibilities, and demanding them be changed is the problem. I want to dig deeper into this specific response, as I think it's important to point something out. The amount of people saying just block and mute and move on, or if you can't handle this, then you shouldn't play video games, is so fucking annoying. Do y'all not understand that this shouldn't be the standard? This shouldn't be normal? Shit talk about someone's gameplay is understandable, but taking it to this next level is not something that should be accepted or ignored simply because it's always been this way. Telling us to grow up because we want to see some accountability for spreading hate and threatening violence? You grow up for not understanding that the damage words can have on people, or the horribly negative example it's setting for younger people. This statement, to me, rings hollow, because of what Taylor said before the match began.
I mean, I'll unmute him for content, because I kind of think this game is lost, but hey, gaming, bro, this guy is an asshole. This guy's an absolute asshole. Like, I'm literally the only reason I have him unmuted. The only reason I have him unmuted is for content.
That's right, she knew he was a dick. She knew he always does this. She normally does have him blocked, but she specifically unblocked him for the content. She unblocked him because she wanted her stream to go viral, and that's exactly what happened. When people say stuff like, "You need to understand the damage words have," there's actually an opposite effect at play here. Victimhood is a great way to jumpstart a Twitch or a YouTube career. This is apolitical, by the way. Just as there's a material benefit to being the crying girl in the harassment clip and gaining a bunch of progressive followers, there's also a material benefit to having the cancel mob come after you and gaining a bunch of conservative followers that way. In both cases, it's monetizing your victimhood, which is why I personally don't buy the hand-wringing. Taylor knew she could get ahead using this guy's toxicity. A few days later, another e-girl, Johanna, whatever, put out a short response clip that also went viral. Let's talk about a few of the points she made.
She wouldn't last 10 minutes in a COD lobby is not, nor has it ever been, a valid excuse for men to act like pieces of human garbage in gaming. I shouldn't have to play a game where all I say is hi and the whole game is thrown and I'm in hell for the next 40 minutes because men are being emotional about it. That is not normal, and that's not how the old COD days were.
I don't think this bitch was ever in the old online lobbies, if she doesn't think this was normal 10 or 15 years ago.
I don't want to fucking use you. Shut the fuck up. You fucking fucking faggot. Pussy. That's right. Yum, 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 I eat dick all day. Yum, 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 I eat dick.
You wanna fight dick? You eat dick? Nigga, what a fucking homo. You eat dick. Nigga said he eats dick.
Yeah, she is the definition of a tourist. In fact, considering that she said back in 2022 that she didn't actually ever play Call of Duty, she is straight up fucking lying in her TikTok here.
There's a reason that historically, male-dominated spaces are known for being toxic and unsafe. That goes for gaming, that goes for sports. Any male-dominated space is a bad one. That's not me being sexist. That is me saying there is an inherent issue with the way that you guys have your locker room talk that makes everybody else feel unsafe. I don't know how you could possibly find it fun to make other people feel unsafe.
If you don't like the texture of male spaces, then why are you in them? I don't go into female spaces and remark about how these places aren't for me and I don't like it.
No woman is asking men to make gaming a safe space with sunshine and rainbows and everything.
You literally just asked that. When you said there's an inherent issue with men in their spaces and locker room talk, you are actually asking for the safe space.
If you are not one of the men doing this, it is entirely on you to help stop the men who are.
You are a strong, empowered woman and don't need no man. You can figure this shit out yourself. I said this in my video on the woman choosing bears over men thing, and the same criticism applies here. Feminism once focused on women's strength and capability, not their fragility and victimhood. Feminism empowered women to no longer be financially dependent on men. But in doing so, men no longer had a duty to be chivalrous towards women in return. When you say here that men who don't help you are part of the problem, the only thing that I can say to that is, this is what the previous generation's feminists wanted for you, and you are living in the culture they have crafted. They wanted you to be equal to men, which meant being treated like men.
If you don't understand that, and you don't understand power imbalances and gender hierarchy, it's not my place to teach you. I'm not your mother. I'm not your teacher. Close the game for 5 minutes and educate yourself.
Ah yes, this is the educate yourself shitlord Tumblr position. I haven't seen it expressed earnestly in a while, and you know what? It's refreshing to see. When she says power imbalances and gender hierarchy, she's saying that women are dominated by these social patterns of oppression that they can never hope to escape from, and therefore they need the help of men to secure their well-being. But feminism already ended that. Chivalry is dead. You're now our equal.
And I do not care if you feel targeted by me saying men, or if you feel attacked by me saying men. You are part of the problem. If you feel attacked by that, you're part of the problem. If you say just mute them, you're part of the problem. If you sit there and let them say that to me and you don't intervene, you are part of the problem.
This person truly is ridiculous. Imagine the blowback if a man said to an innocent woman, yeah, you know, you didn't do anything, but if you're not constantly calling out the toxic femininity around you, you're still part of the problem. Educate yourself. There would be a fucking nuclear firestorm online. This all stems from hatred of straight cis white men, at least insofar as this person's concerned. You don't believe me? I mean, she does view herself as having a moral obligation to turn any male child she has in the future either gay or trans, by her own admission.
Genuinely, like, my worst fear is having a son. I'm not even being funny. In general, I think it would just be like more fun to have a girl because like she can be cunt. But then it's like, even if you have a son and even if you think he's normal, like he can like just like become a misogynist one day and there's nothing you can do about it. Just because like he's like talking to the wrong people or engaging with the wrong media online. You want a little girl just to be a twin? She would be cunt. Like, she would be cunt. Oh! 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 No, it's over, Ina. It's over. Like, if I were to have a boy, we better pray to God that he's gay. We better start indoctrinating him day one. We have to either make him trans or make him gay. We are not having a cisgender straight son.
Yeah, so that whole just be normal thing, that was a fucking lie, wasn't it? I know, she's probably joking, and you know me, I love a good edgy joke. The target of this edgy joke, though, is her future child. Now, jokes are jokes, but let's actually think about the consequences of this joke for a minute. Let's assume that she's actually joking. Well, this clip is on the internet, which means it's probably going to be easily accessible for decades, especially since she's a streamer with a public persona that will likely be linked back to her at some point in the future. There is stuff online from 25 years ago. If she has a kid in the next decade, there's a decent chance that he'll discover his mum is or was a streamer. He'll look up her name and see her old viral controversy. And you know what? So will his classmates. We've seen teachers who have hidden pasts in pornography get absolutely obliterated by their classrooms once one kid discovers the old porn and shares it around. We've seen kids get obliterated by other kids when it comes out their mom or their sister has an OnlyFans account or something. Lady, if you don't think your clip has a chance to be a massive anchor around your future son's neck, you've got another thing coming. That kid is going to be bullied for being gay or trans, whether he is or not. And oh my god, if he actually is gay or trans, it's only going to get worse for him. And if she's not joking, if she's actually making a real statement of intent, then she's fully admitting to being the right wing's worst fear. She's going to groom her own child. And when her son sees this, he's going to believe he was considered defective before he was even born, that he wasn't worthy of his mother's love if she couldn't change him for a political reason. And you know what? If that kid actually ends up being gay or trans, he's not going to know if it actually was because that's who he is, or if his mom abused him into it. This woman is fucked up, dude. As a result of all of this, she was suspended from Twitch for 14 days. She blames the rightoids and the incels and whatever else who were mass reporting her, and I'm just going to give her the same reply that these disgusting fucks give whenever the boot's on the other foot. It's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture. If you didn't break any rules, it wouldn't have happened. Well, isn't it the consequences of your own actions? Fuck you, dude. Let's actually discuss what's going on here. Trash talking is almost always targeted at a person's traits that are both 1, visible, and 2, non-conforming. Basic idea is that when a man sucks at a video game, he's told that he sucks. But when a woman sucks at a video game, she's told that women suck. So when Miss Boob Window here says that the insults towards her generally target the fact that she's a woman, she's actually correct. But the reason for this is because she is a woman in a space where there's not that many women. I guarantee you there's no progressives watching this right now, but if they were, they'd be saying, duh, no shit, Dev. We've been talking about this the whole time. But now let's complete the pattern. If a woman walks into a male-dominated space, she will be teased or bullied or harassed based on being a woman, because that is her most visible, non-conforming characteristic. But if a man walks into a female-dominated space, he will also be teased or bullied or harassed based on being a man, because that's his most visible, non-conforming characteristic. Any man can tell you their experience of this happening. Walk into a room full of women and things happen to go south, and everything about you is on the table as a point of harassment. This happens to all demographics. Black people walking into a predominantly white space will face teasing, bullying, or harassment based on being black. It's the same with white people walking into a predominantly black space. Hell, when, let's say, you have a low IQ person who walks into a predominantly intellectual space, he'll be laughed at for being a redneck, an idiot, a slack-jawed yokel. But when a high IQ person walks into a predominantly non-intellectual space, he'll be a nerd, a loser, a Poindexter, to use an 80s term. This problem is not unique to women in male spaces. This is actually just a part of the human condition. Even if a space is homogeneous across one metric, there will always be a pecking order. The stereotype of the all-female group being relentlessly and viciously catty exists for a reason. Women are not innocent here, and the data bears this out as well. A 2017 set of statistics from the Pew Research Center showed that while 37% of women experienced online harassment, so did 44% of men. 12% of men and 8% of women claimed they had been physically threatened. 6% of men and 8% of women claimed they'd been stalked. 8% of men and 7% of women claimed they had experienced sustained harassment, and 4% of men and 8% of women claimed they had been sexually harassed. More women than men claim to be the victim of specifically sex-based harassment, 11% versus 5%. But men tend to be harassed more often for their political leanings, 19% versus 10% respectively. Left or right wing doesn't seem to make a difference. Even though men and women show no statistically significant differences in the rates that they're embarrassed, stalked, or face sustained harassment, men are more likely to be called offensive names and to receive physical threats, while women, especially younger women, are more likely to receive sexual harassment. This roughly mirrors real life, where women are more likely to get raped and men are more likely to get mugged. Unsurprisingly, women under 30 were more likely to be the target of getting sent unsolicited sexual content than men under 30, 53% versus 37% respectively. But counterintuitively, men in the same age group were more likely to say that sexually explicit images of themselves had been shared online without their permission, 14% versus 10%. In other words, while men are more likely to send an unsolicited dick pic to a woman than a woman is to send the equivalent to a man is actually more likely to have their nudes shared without their permission than a woman is, which is not the result that I expected. A study on this topic, also from 2017, called Effects of Sexualized Video Games on Online Sexual Harassment, also provides us with some unexpected results. The study had people of both sexes play Street Fighter, sometimes as female characters fully clothed, and sometimes as female characters in their alternate swimsuit costumes, where they show a lot more skin and they jiggle around on the screen more. When a woman played as a female character with more skin exposed, they were more likely to experience harassment after the match from their opponent than if they played as the covered-up variant of the same character. This points towards the sexualization of female characters contributing to the online harassment of women. This same effect does not take place if it's a man who's playing as the sexualized female character. However, here is the unexpected result. This study also found that more sexist jokes were sent to men than to women overall. The rate of the jokes weren't exacerbated by the man playing as a sexualized female character, it was just consistently higher. The difference is that men failed to recognize the comments as sexist, and they failed to recognize the jokes as harassment. Moreover, the female participants in this study sent significantly more of these sexist jokes themselves than male participants did. There is a theory as to why this is the case. Because women are common targets of sexual harassment by men, when women send sexist jokes to other women, it's viewed not as harassment, but in-group banter that men don't have access to. And when women send sexist jokes to men, it's viewed not as harassment, but retaliation. This actually makes a lot of intuitive sense. Female violence, both physical and sexual, is often downplayed from many different angles. The perpetrators of female violence, as well as their supporters, will simply say that women are weak and you're a big strong man. They obviously can't hurt you, so what are you crying about? And if it's sexual violence, they'll lean on the tired excuse of course he wanted it, he's a man. Meanwhile, there's not much help on the traditional side of things either, for a lot of the same reasons, just coming from the other direction. The statement, men can't be hurt or raped by women because men have the power, is something that I've heard both feminists and tradcons say, despite their obvious disagreements elsewhere. The reason I dove into this is to show that despite the common perception among progressives that online harassment is a uniquely male problem, it's just not. The data shows that men suffer, more or less, the same amount of harassment. The specific flavor of harassment might change from person to person or demographic to demographic, but the rates remain the same. And I personally don't believe that an angry man screaming to a woman, "You're a fucking bitch, get back in the kitchen, I'm gonna rape you," is all that worse than a woman screaming to a man, "You're a fucking incel, your dick is small, no one will ever love you." In both cases, the harasser is picking at what they believe to be their target's darkest fear for maximum impact. That's why all of these insults are emotionally distressing, not because there's actually a real threat of violence here. And you know what? Despite that distress, free speech is still the ultimate value. These people are assholes if they say these things, but should they be thrown in jail? Of course not. Block them and move on. The guy who sent Taylor Morgan that garbage from the start of the video, he's obviously a shitty person, and we can critique him on that basis. But this idea that society needs to be fundamentally reordered because this is a male problem, that's just not the case. Everyone does this. It's bad, but what you'd have to do to stop it, beyond giving individuals the tools to block, mute, and report others, would be a cure that is worse than the disease. I don't like harassers, but I hate the idea of living in a padded room society even more.